And I'm not going to be too obnoxious or swear too much out of respect for Dr. Joe Dispenza, which this episode is going to be about. I have too much respect for him and what he's done for people around the world. And for me, he's helping me save my life. And I'll start with first time I saw him was in a documentary called Heal that I mentioned before, which I saw probably 20 times. It's amazing. And I liked everything that I saw. And I tried all of different things, but his main thing was meditation. And I'm like, nah, I can do that. Just didn't think it would work, didn't think it would do anything. Of course, like an idiot that I am, that's all I do now. It's amazing the stories that I've heard, including my own, from crawling out of the abyss that I was in and starting to feel better than I ever have in my life. But I poo-pooed it for a while. And then my trainer, Tanya, sent me a video, like a YouTube video of his. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard it. But I looked at it. He's got a bunch of YouTube videos, and they're powerful. So I watched that, and then I watched one on his website to look at transformation stories. I would recommend anyone to do that. drjoedispenza.com, transformation stories. I started doing that, and this was August of the summer, and I was still doing steroids and Klonopin and not feeling good. I watched these stories, several of them. I couldn't stop watching it, and I just started bawling. Told my wife, you gotta look at this, and she's like, well, if it's making you sad, stop watching. I'm like, no, I'm not sad. This is inspirational. I need to see this guy. I gotta do this. I want to be on that stage, telling my story. I gotta get started. So I did. I watched so many videos online, and I started listening to about an online course that he requires you to do before you go to your first week-long event. And there's a good reason for that, because it's a lot of information. And it's hard to digest, honestly, but I did. But then I didn't really do anything, because then I got sick, really sick from pneumonia and then the withdrawal. But once I got kind of snapped out of it and was doing okay with the Adderall, I'm like, I need to get back into this. So I did, and I paid more attention. Watched twice before I went to see him in Cancun in Mexico in December. So I spent the month of November listening to this, and I started meditating, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I had no clue. I just figured I want to close my eyes, play some music, and just breathe and relax. There's a lot more to it than that, but for anyone who wants to be a beginner, I had a friend last week and tell him about meditation. He's like, oh, yeah, Tim, how do you do it? What do you do? What do you do? And it's not that simple. It's pretty deep, and times it's hard to do. Once you do it, it's glorious. Once you start doing it, you're like, ooh, that was good. I want to go there again, which is why I do it 3-4 times a day. I did this morning for 4 hours, forgot about it, and it was lovely. So, again, I didn't know what I was doing, but I noticed I started feeling better. And I was working out again with Tanya and, walking a little bit. So I was so excited to go to the event. And I had no idea, none, what I was going to find out. And So we went first week of December, and initially just signed up just for the dates of the event, and then realized that probably not going to be able to do a whole lot with my wife. So we went in for the weekend before the event started so we could spend some time, go to the pool. And we did. It was nice. And then we ended up leaving on a Monday because the event was started Monday night and went through Sunday afternoon. And I didn't want to miss any of it. So went and checked in on Monday. Started that evening. My breath. Went back to the room. And it's different. It's weird. Even a little cultish. I mean, the people over there. Dr. Joe's just brilliant. But there's a lot of people who, they're up dancing, hugging, singing. I'm like, okay, relax. A few days later, I'm doing the same damn thing. It's just so beautiful and fun and so much love. You just let go and you surrender. But it took me a little while to get there. And so after Monday night, I'm like, yeah, this is different. But I'm here. I'm going to commit. And then Tuesday morning, thankfully, I sat next to a lady named Stephanie Meyer. Just a beautiful person. We connected. We still text. And she helped me because, a lot of the meditation, I'd never done it before. I'd never really done yoga. For anyone who's done yoga, that there's chakras. But he called them energy centers, which I like because chakras kind of sounds weird. But it's... Oh, sorry, I got caught. But, so she taught me what they are. And again, I had no idea. Thank God she was there because then he does a little beginner's intro to meditation and then they get right into it. But she helped me understand what he was saying. So there's 7 energy centers and then there's the quantum field above you. So, number 1 energy center is your taint, your perineum. So, again, people don't know what perineum is. It's, like if you're trying to, hold in a shit or hold in a fart, you suck up your perineum, taint. So, that was 1. Number 2 is kind of your lower abdomen, right behind your belly button. Number 3 is your upper abdomen. Number 4 is the center of your chest, your heart. 5 is in your throat. 6 is in your brain, and some people refer to it as the third eye, but he would refer to it as a pineal gland, which is amazing. 7's the top of your head, and 8's the quantum field. I'd never heard of this. And it took me that whole day to try and get through these breathing exercises and figure out these different energy centers. And it was not easy. But I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to surrender. And I'm going all in. So, and these were long days. I'd be there at 6:30 in the morning. We didn't get out till 7:30 at night. So, but it was lovely. You really lose track of time and space when you do a good meditation. So, it was Tuesday. She, again, helped me with the energy centers, which was great. And then we'd break for breakfast and break for lunch. And when I got back Monday night, my wife had rented me a little scooter to cruise around to get to the arena. And initially, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. She's like, you sure? You gotta try it. If you're not gonna use it, I'll take it and go shopping. So, of course, I try it. And, 1 minute later, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. Cruising around. And so I could just leave the room and go to the arena easily. It wasn't a far walk, but it was a difficult one for me. So Tuesday, I'm cruising around this thing, and I'm still, once I get up, I'm walking the cane and wasn't walking great. And that morning for breakfast, a nice lady, I believe her name was Suzanne Peterson, very sweet, sat next to her, and I pulled up on the scooter, and she's like, "You want me to?" I was going to try and go get some food. She's like, "You want me to help you?" I'm like, that'd be great. So she did, and went and got some food. I just pointed some things out, and she was so sweet to get them, and then we talked for a while, and then went on our way. And same thing for lunch. Another person helped me, and it was very nice. And got through the day, and then that night, I felt something. It clicked. I finally was learning the meditation, the blessing of the energy centers, which is amazing. And it worked. I got the breathing down. I got all the energy, and then I just felt this energy field around me. It's hard to describe, but it's powerful. I felt it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what he's talking about. So then go back Wednesday, and again, drove a scooter over, but I was walking a little better. And I had to get up early. I don't like getting up early. I had to get up at 5:30. Be there by 6:30. It's difficult for me. But I did it. I wasn't going to miss a moment. And that day, I went to breakfast and, pulled my scooter. And then I went by myself with my cane. I was able to get a plate. So that was good. We did some more meditations. Then we broke for lunch. And I pulled my scooter up, and I just got up without the cane. And I walked to the buffet. And I was able to grab 2 plates with each hand, without my cane, and walk and get food. And I remember walking back to the table, almost a few people who had got their nose looking at him like, yeah, look at this. Shit works. And I felt so good. And then later that day, we were going to do what they call a walking meditation. Go out on the beach, and you stand, close your eyes, meditate, and then I've got a DVD player with after Joe talking to me, and then you walk. Open your eyes and start walking. I wasn't sure if I could do this. I haven't walked on the beach in years. It's too difficult to keep my balance. And my volunteer, who's now a dear friend, Danny Fichizak, he was offering to help me. I go, yeah, I'm going to need some help. I don't know if I can do this on the beach, but I will. When we start in the upper area, we're kind of hard sand, so I could be easier to walk on. And he's like, that's fine. So we started, and it was tough initially, but I was doing okay. And I walked for probably 100 yards, and I picked the cane up, and I handed it to him, and I just started walking through the sand, down by the water, and I was walking faster and faster. And I'm like, what is going on here? The energy that was flowing through me is hard to describe, but it was just joy, happiness, to be walking, not my cane on a beach. And then I went over, sat down at one point in meditation to sit down, and then got to get back up again and walk back. And I just started walking. I was walking faster. It almost felt like running, but I probably would have done a face plant with that. But Dana was walking behind me. He's like, boy, I heard him keeping up. And then we went back, finished, and we just sat in the sand and she started talking. He's like, oh my, he was emotional. He's like, oh my God, I could see you. You're moving. And it was amazing. And then we were just sitting in the sand, got up, started walking back up to where a scooter was. And that was, 50 yards. And we were just talking. And I got to where the scooter was, and I kind of looked and I go, I just walked without the cane through here. I didn't even notice it. I felt normal because you walked normal. Like, it just blew my mind. Every day, things got better and better. And, one thing I forgot to tell you about. Tuesday in the afternoon, Dr. Joe had 10 experienced meditators come on the stage and played music, and they got it into their zone. And he's like, don't be alarmed. Everyone has a different way. There's nothing wrong with whatever you want to do it. And they started meditating, and some were just, lightly moving, some were convulsing. And, at that point again, I'm like, all right, this is weird. And then 2 days later, I'm doing the same damn thing and loving it. So that was really cool. And so then, now it's Thursday morning, and we had to be there at 4 a.m. I'm honestly said, yeah, but I'm not going to make that. And then to make it worse, Wednesday night, my CPAP machine wasn't working great, and my nose was stuffed up. And I'm like, I'm never going to get up in time. But I set my alarm, and I got up. I didn't shower. I put a hat on, got in the scooter, and made it right at 4. So I was pretty proud of myself to do that. I was so glad I did, because we got there at 4. He said a few words. Started at like 4:15. We started a meditation. It was deep. You're sitting down at first, and then you lay down, and it just goes on for a while. And you finish meditation, you come back, you open your eyes, and he's like, okay, we're going to break for breakfast. It's 8:30. We should be back here by 10. And everyone was like, what? It was 4:15 when we started this. And over 4 hours. Meditating. And, man, it was a long time, but I thought, maybe an hour or so, but not 4. And it's just, again, every experience, every day kept building and growing, and just made you feel so good. And again, did another walking meditation the next day, and it just kept getting better. Another friend actually sent me we exchanged numbers, and he was walking behind me, taking a video of me walking. And he sent it to me. I'm like, oh my God, that was so cool. So I shared that with my wife, my kids, and they were just amazed. It was really, really cool. So basically it was, it just kept getting better and better. And, there were so many transformation stories I saw in person. Ladies from South Africa who had cancer all over in her cervix, and then her kidneys, and then her bones. Once it gets into your bones, man, that's not good. And she kept going back to her oncologist and trying different things, chemo and stuff, and it got worse. And finally, they were trying to talk her into doing some other things. She goes, you know what? I'm going to try something else. And she'd been dabbling with Dr. Joe for years, but she said, I never really went all in. And she did. And she tells her story. And that was early December. And the end of November, she had had another scan from an oncologist, and she brought that to the event, and she was clear, healed. You can't hear and see these stories and not have it change you. It's amazing. Another gentleman, 2 years ago, he had a brain tumor, and they had given him 2 months to live. Get your affairs in order. Nothing we can do. He was in a wheelchair, couldn't talk, couldn't move. That was 2 years before. Now he's up at a stage, walking, talking. As he meditated every day, twice a day, religiously. And he's like, my tumor's almost gone. I mean, it's hard. I get goosebumps thinking about that and been there. And then another one that happened was there was a young man with ALS in a wheelchair. And everyone experienced him initially. When we tried to do the walking meditation on the beach, he was sitting down. He got up and he walked across the sand. It was just like stunning. People are crying. And then he did it again. Dr. Joe went up on stage and he walked onto the stage. I mean, out of wheelchair. There's so many stories like that from people all over the world with terminal illnesses who heal themselves. They heal by looking within and finding the divine power within each and every one of us. When you do that, and you surrender, and you're not trying, you're not pushing for anything, you just surrender, you're at peace, you heal in so many ways. And, one thing he taught me to understand is that this disease is a gift. He would say, what if the worst thing that's ever happened to you could turn into the best thing that's ever happened to you? I believe that. I believe this was a way to tell me to slow down, enjoy the ride. Because I was living such a reckless lifestyle, I'd probably be dead already right now if I had kept going at that direction and that much stupid shit. So I'm thankful to be here and to have been given this gift, and I hope I can help others again to not give up and meditate. It will save you. So I think that's about all I'm going to have for this one. And again, I feel better already from when I walked in and doing the last episode, and now this one. I'm not shaking as much. I feel better. I feel like I'm talking better, breathing better, and it's amazing. So, take care. And the email, Sandy Hahn Podcast, the Sandy Hahn Podcast at gmail.com. And we got the stuff going. It's not ready yet, but very soon. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going out of town in a few days. Hopefully trying to get some rest and relaxation in Florida. But then I'll be back and we're going to do some more. Looking forward to it. Take care.